Hey YouTube, what's going on? DK Plays here, back at it again with another YouTube video. Today we've got episode 4 in D&D and Minecraft today. I hope you guys really enjoy. We're going to be heading back over and talking to Thascius. Hopefully he's got some good information for us, and hopefully he can help us get figured out where we need to go and get Veer some help. So, peace.
I guess I could sleep outside, but not really my style.
No. Stay away. No. Stop it.
Vair's memories?
Go away.
Vair! And Vair! It's okay! No one
Leave me.
just us.
Get back. Where are they? Potter, where are they? They.
That's not the first time you've had a dream like that. It's getting worse.
Yes, they are.
What were you dreaming about?
You needn't pretend. You saw it too.
Do you want to talk about it?
No.
Fine. Back to sleep. Well, let's go in. Oh. That's nice. We have some free potions to the residents. I don't think it's really free potions. I think it's more or less just that there's a chest up here for someone. Well, let's go downstairs. Somebody else's room. Lovely inn that you have here. I really appreciated the service. Sorry if I was a little loud in my sleep.
About last night.
Please, do not speak of it.
It's just that... Was the experience really that bad? Having your body stolen. I know you were scared, but those dreams you have and the way you acted when the cultists caught us...
I said not to speak of it. I want no reminder of that. But if you really insist on satisfying your childish, idiotic curiosity, then just know this. Having my soul ripped from my body was the most painful thing that I have ever experienced. I did not know that pain could be so complete or overwhelming. Not being able to do anything about it was even worse. Now be silent and go speak with the sage.
Yes, sir. Thank you for answering my question, though. You didn't really have to do that much. Where's he at? No? He's not in his usual area. Oh, there he is. He's walking around.
Ah, there you are. Yvonne and I have been working on your conundrum. I have some good news and I have some bad news.
Well, good
Let's
news.
hear the good news.
Well, to begin with, we have found a way to safely separate Vair's soul from your body and put it back into his own while expelling the parasite that is latched onto him.
Bad news?
What's the bad news?
The bad news, I'm afraid, is that the artifact you need to put Vair back into his own body is rather far away, and may not actually be where we think it is.
Well, yeah, that does sound like a
You
problem.
see, while investigating, we encountered two principal problems. Removing and transporting another creature's soul is actually rather simple if you have the appropriate knowledge or equipment.
Okay.
I've done it myself on several occasions. The problems are that Endandravaya's body is already inhabited by a living creature that may have some control over it, and furthermore, we do not know how much damage this creature has inflicted on Vair's body, nor whether removing the parasite forcibly would do even more.
Okay.
For all we know, removing the creature would kill Vair's body, and trying to put his soul back into it would be, well, pointless. He would simply die as any other creature does when their body expires. To address this, we tracked down an artifact known as the Rod of Alignment. Its relatively simple, if exceptionally powerful function, is to set things back into their natural intended state. It can only do so on a limited scale and needs time to recharge, but it should do the trick.
The catch?
What's the catch?
The catch is that, like I said, we are not absolutely sure about where it is. We just have a very good guess that will at least put you on the artifact's trail.
Is that
Will
enough?
that be enough on its own?
Yes, though depending on how powerful the parasite is, you will likely need to weaken the creature before the artifact can extract it. Living things can resist magical effects, but weakening the target will reduce its ability to do so. The rod was last seen in the possession of Myastan Kimmerin, a morally dubious dragonborn druid.
Okay.
Without getting into too many details, he was last seen with it in Icewind Dale when going to speak to a storm giant friend of his who lives in the area. There have not been any reports of the artifact since that visit, though Kimmerin has certainly left their mark on various places without it in the intervening time. So we think it may have been left in the Storm Giant's keeping.
Okay.
If not, then they may have an idea of where to find it.
Okay.
Where exactly is Icewind Dale?
Where is
It's
this?
far to the north, beyond the spine of the World Mountain Range. It's about a 1,200-mile trip from here.
1,200 miles.
You're kidding. It took me nearly 2 weeks to come even a tenth of that distance.
Yeah, I probably should have included that in the bad news category.
Who is Mayastan exactly?
Mayastan is his dragonborn clan name. Kimrin has made a name for himself by protecting wild places and, well, destroying or sabotaging anyone that threatens them in any way. He has hurt a good number of people with his rather extreme methods.
So, a giant
How are we
cell.
supposed to get this giant to help us?
I don't know. That is for you to figure out. I'm sure that a resourceful duo like yourselves can manage.
We should
better
get
go
going then. Any recommendations for getting to Icewind Dale? Preferably within this century?
Well, there's a ship heading north in the next day or so. I arranged passage for you, though you will have to find other ships heading north on your own once this one stops in Waterdeep. Shouldn't be too troublesome this time of year. Oh, and one last thing. One of our occultists was able to identify those grinning creatures that you have encountered. They are called Gru, and are part of a large, mysterious category of creatures commonly called Starspawn.
Starspawn. That's interesting.
Whatever their purpose is here, it cannot be good. The few times the Starspawn Gru are mentioned in our books usually labels them as minions, shock troopers, and harbingers for even greater evils and agents of ancient mad gods.
Ooh.
How they came here is unknown, but their very presence is troubling. The people working with them probably worship whatever elder god the Gru serve. I suspect that you have found the cult of the Old Ones, which may explain why the man in the mask was interested in the devil cultists you found in Adro's Tower. They would likely have similar goals and could be using similar resources.
The sage seems to be fairly composed, but he could be concealing something. It's hard to say.
What else can you tell us about these things?
Unfortunately, not much. Very little is known about them other than that they come from a place beyond the known multiverse. Mordenkainen himself never dared travel to their home, as it is a place beyond human reason or understanding. Simply going there would destroy a mortal, or at the very least drive them insane.
What might they want with Endandravayir's body?
It's impossible to say. Many creatures that come from other planes have been known to open more portals to their homes and thereby facilitate an invasion. Theoretically, since dragons are tied to the very nature of magic in our world, they could use him as a focus for anchor point, though they would also need his soul for that, since the soul is what really ties dragons to Faerun. It could be that they simply need a host large enough for the parasite. There's also the possibility that they have taken his body to their home plane, in which case there is nothing we could do.
Say that
What
again.
might they want with Endandravayir?
It's impossible to
never
say. Theoretically, since dragons are tied to the very nature of magic in our world, they could use him as a focus for anchor point, though they would also need his soul for that, since the soul is what really ties dragons
So
to Faerun.
maybe they need me too then, because I have his soul.
It could be that they simply need... There's also the possibility that they have...
So what now?
Well, that wasn't exactly enlightening. What can we do with that information?
Yeah, what are we supposed to do with all this information? Just
Very
go there?
little, I'm afraid. Still, I thought that you should know what you are dealing with. Keep this with you as you travel. You can use this to contact me from anywhere in Faerun at any time. If you're in dire trouble, or if you encounter something that might be very interesting to me, use that. Otherwise, abuse this privilege and I will sever the connection permanently. Now go down to the docks and you will find passage on a ship heading north. Good luck.
Thank you for everything. Though it does feel like you're kind of kicking me away immediately as soon as you can. Alright, let's go. We gotta go make it to north of the Great Spine. North of the whatchamacallit.
Need a lift?
Icewind Dale, please.
The voyage north is long, and you discover an intense dislike of the sea, as you find yourself repeatedly clutching the ship's railing and spewing out various meals into the waves. As the voyage continues, the air also grows colder, as settlements and cities along the coast become fewer and far between. By the time the captain tells you that your destination is near, you have already started counting how many seconds it takes for your puke to freeze against the hull of the ship. Looking up from the railing, though, you see a dark shape looming through the blowing snow, and something about it that has nothing to do with the cold causes you to shiver.
Ah, I see the prison inspector has caught your eye. Best hope you don't find yourself going there anytime soon, unless you have business.
What is that place?
It's called Revel's End, an apt name if ever there was one, as I've not known anywhere bleaker or more devoid of joy. There is a prison built to hold the worst criminals that mankind has to offer. Whether the sorry souls stuck in there deserve it or not, well, I can't say.
Again, prisons. How is it that humans are so taken with prisons, cells, and confining each other? It's unsettling.
Why build something like that all the way out here?
Well, the nice and fancy folk don't want no reminders of the dirty and dangerous people that they've locked up. So they put them as far from civilization as you can imagine. Care Dinnerval notwithstanding.
How much farther until port?
Not much farther at all. See, just keep heading along that there path and you'll find your way to Care Dinnerval. Not much of a place for southerners, between the cold and the rough company, but you'll find shelter from the blizzards, and food. Good luck, wherever your journey takes you.
What a miserable place.
How are you cold? I can hear you shivering. That doesn't make sense. I'm the one who has to walk through this.
Oh, maybe because I am not simply a passive observer, and I'm actually sharing your body. How many times must I explain this?
Right, but shivering? Thought you needed your own body for that.
Never mind. Why would anyone choose to live in such a dismal part of the world?
Judging by what the captain said along the way, people who either don't want to be found, or have nowhere else to go.
Lovely. Well, if we are to keep our visit as brief as possible, I would suggest finding the nearest bartender or such who might have heard rumors of a giant.
Haven't seen you around before. What do you want?
Friendly.
What can you tell me about this town?
Other than it being a hive of scum and villainy, You got the castle up the hill, the lake we fish knucklehead trout out of when it's not frozen over. And that's about it. All that's left after the rest of 10 towns after the incident some years back. Even a
What incident?
great white dragon came through. His breath was so cold, it froze the sap in the trees so hard the wood exploded. Shattered people as they tried to flee. Took a band of adventurers hired from Columnshan to finally kill the thing. But by the time they did, 10 towns was in ruin. Everyone just congregated here in the end, since Kardinaval had the least damage, though that's not saying much.
Have you had any disappearances around here? Strange sightings? Anything?
It's Icewind Dale. People go missing in the storms all the time, and monsters come down from the mountains and the tundra every day. Still, if you mean anything outside of that, no. Can't say as I've heard anything. People who get lost in the storms are either found within a week, alive, or turned into a walker. And the monsters are the same as ever. Then again, I did hear that something's been going on with the dwarves up in, Kelvin's Cairn. Lots of rumors and stories coming from them, though I don't think they've had any misfortune themselves. Just heard things through the grapevine.
Have you heard anything about a storm giant in the area? I'm looking for one that's supposed to live nearby.
Storm giant? That ain't like a frost giant? Or do you mean a stone giant? Because we got plenty of those up in our spine. I sometimes wander this way to hunt and raid.
No, I mean storm giant.
Then I've got nothing for you. Though you could always ask Kelly, Goat Kicker. She's been around a fair amount, one of those adventurer types, always looking for mercenary work and places to explore. You can usually find her down by the lakeside docks.
So long.
Seriously? You're not even gonna buy a meal or a room? Ugh, wasting my time.
Are you Helia?
And who wants to know?
My name is Katra, and I'm looking for a storm giant that's supposed to live in the Dale. Have you heard of anything like that?
Storm giant. Well, I'd be lying if I said I knew exactly what you're on about, but well, my partner and I did see something right queer in the mountains about a month back, and it was definitely giant and definitely stormy at the time.
Any details you can give me?
Hi, there's a trail on the opposite side of this lake, right across from us. That goes up into the mountains, as called the Spine. A blizzard started blowing around one of the peaks in particular just a few years before I showed up here. Never let up once, nor moved. Storm just sits there, blowing away. My partner and I, we thought we'd go see if anything were up that way. Thought maybe we'd find some magic item or a wizard or something causing the storm. Maybe knock some sense into them or get some loot from the expedition.
You seriously risked life and limb thinking that there would be treasure there just because a storm had started?
Even if we found no goodies, we might have been able to see what was causing it. Maybe get the town's mayor to pay us for the information or something.
And what does this have to do with the giant?
I'm getting there. So, after about an hour marching through the storm, we hear this voice in the blizzard saying, "Turn back," and "You'll die here," and some such. We weren't about to pack it in, though. Thing is, the snow was getting so thick and high around us, we could hardly even walk, and it was getting dark. We tried to find shelter, but just kept getting turned around in the storm, and we were getting right cold. Cold, to the point you don't feel no cold no more. Wasn't until I hit the ground and everything started going black that I realized I was freezing to death. But then, next thing I know, I'm awake. My toes and fingers hurt something fierce from the frostbite, and my whole body was stiff, but there I was, lying next to my partner. We'd been taken all the way down the mountain to a little cave, and someone had even set up a fire for us. But here's the kicker. There weren't no footprints around us. Nothing in the snow. 'Twere the wildest thing I ever seen, and I still ain't been able to figure it out.
She's clearly told this story a number of times, so it's hard to say how much of it is rehearsed exaggeration.
You said like a mum. You mean the face was a woman's?
Oh, aye. Far as I could tell. Real flat. Smash nose. Though, but I was about delirious from the cold, so don't take that part of the story too seriously.
Where's your partner now?
Mikkel. Oh, the cowardly bum had enough of adventuring after that incident. He's working as a miner up in Kelvin's Khan with a bunch of our kinsmen now.
Any advice for someone looking to climb?
Yeah, don't do it. It was a daft idea, and by all rights, me and my partner should be dead. Might not be such a trial normally, but that blizzard will spell the end of you.
Thank you for your time.
Well, that is at least a little promising. What say you, Petra?
It's the only lead we've got at the moment, so it's probably worth investigating.
I should warn you, in case you did not already know. Dragons and giants have a long-standing rivalry that verges on hatred, depending on the parties involved. Storm giants are known as goodly, if stern, creatures, but regardless of this one's disposition, it might be for the best if you do not mention my presence or involvement.
Something else to complicate things. That's good to know. Thanks. Hello?
This storm will be the end of you.
Where are you?
Leave this place.
I just want to talk!
You tread a dangerous path, human. If you have come to rob or hunt me, then I hope that you have made peace with yourself.
That, Katra, is a storm giant, and one who has ascended beyond the restrictions of their body, it seems. They aren't just controlling the storm around us. They are the storm. It is a part of them. Be careful.
Speak now and tell me your purpose in coming here, lest I blast you off the side of the mountain.
This is not someone you should bandy words with. If you do not get to the point quickly, and if she does not like what she hears, the best you could hope for is being thrown from the mountain and maybe landing in a deep snowbank somewhere.
Do you know a druid named Myaston Kimmerin?
No. Should I?
She is unfamiliar with the name and still suspicious of you.
Do you know of any other storm giants in the area?
No. I live separate from my people.
Are you the only one who has lived here in the last few years?
Yes.
Well, there are accounts of Kimmerin visiting a storm giant friend in this area, and if you are the only one here, then that must be you.
Brock. I told him to check for scrying, the fool. Fine, what do you want with him?
My friend has been infested with a parasite that has also displaced his soul. We were told by the Sage of Magic at Candlekeep that his best hope is to find the Rod of Alignment, which was last seen with Kimmerin.
And what if I refuse to help? What will you do?
If you do not help, then my friend will die, and that could mean something terrible for the world.
That seems rather far-fetched. Still, you are earnest, I will grant that much. This is a powerful item that you seek, and not something to be handed over lightly. Though perhaps... Very well. I indeed possess the rod, and am willing to part with it in return for a favor. The druid who last held the rod is indeed a friend of mine. Kimmerin, however, has a tendency to use force to protect the wilderness and its creatures, rather than negotiate.
I mean, yeah, could you blame him if he's strong enough to?
The Lord's Alliance decided that they had suffered his vigilantism long enough, and have imprisoned him in the great fortress they built nearby, known as Revel's End.
You need me to plan a prison break?
I cannot enter that bastion, as its magic wards me away. If you want the rod, then you must find a way to free Kimmerin. Once he is with me again, the rod will be yours.
What do you do?
What has he done to get imprisoned exactly?
He defends the wild places of Faerun. Anywhere that wildlife and nature are threatened, he goes to protect it and eliminate the threat. Sometimes that means destroying a band of marauding orcs. Sometimes that means destroying a duke's mining operation.
Is he
Will
dangerous?
Kimmerin be dangerous to me?
Only if you give him reason to think that you mean harm to either him or the wilderness. Otherwise, he is quite personable.
Well, if I must.
I am not thrilled about the idea of freeing a criminal.
It is the only condition I will agree to. You will do this thing. A last warning to you. Beware the prison, for it is not just a trapped and warded fortress. Something has changed lately.
It's gonna be filled with cultists.
I have not seen the guards at their outposts for nearly a week, and there is now a ferocious flying creature there.
Okay.
Every time I've tried to approach since its appearance, it has beaten me back, rather severely at one point.
Okay.
I do not know if the jailers have summoned it as an additional guardian, or whether it is there for other reasons. But be wary of a dark creature with bat-like wings. Hope that you do not encounter it. Good luck.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? So looks like Nulcra is sending us on a mission right now to go help her friend Kimmerin, who's been imprisoned. We're gonna have to go plan a jailbreak over there, but it sounds like things aren't as they seem over there, as the prisoners or the guards have summoned some kind of new warden or monster over there. So we're gonna have to go check it out. Maybe have to go fight some bad guys. Tune in to the next episode to see if we can get Kimmerin out. Peace.